What's up, YouTube? On this episode of Coddiwomple Overland, we're going to be heading up the coast of Maine. Coddiwomple Overland is proudly powered by Cummins Off-road, where you can completely outfit your vehicle and still retain their lifetime powertrain warranty. We're also brought to you in part by Overland Vehicle Systems, Trail Rated Coffee, Skinny Guy Campers, and more Expo. Also, if you're looking for some of our merch, make sure and check out shopoverlandapparel.com. The first part of our trip would include 16 hours of driving from Kentucky to Maine. This will be just the beginning of a 14-day adventure through the states of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. We made it to our first night's camp. We're in central PA. We've already got camp set up, and Deb is already fixing dinner. What you got?
Italian meatball soup.
That looks good. Are we going to eat all of that?
No, we're waiting on Kelly and Kristen and Jimmy to get here.
Once Jimmy and Kristen and Kelly arrived, we all had dinner and then sat around a campfire and talked about what the next 14 days was going to bring. This time around the campfire, I also gave Rip and Aspen a chance to get to know each other.
Have you guys seen that guy who...
Next morning, everybody woke up early with plans of getting to Maine today. Yeah, the meat was kind of green and As we made our way closer to the New England states, we got word of a traffic jam on the interstate, and I planned a detour. And you know, my detours most all the time include a little bit of dirt. After bypassing as much traffic as we could, we found our way back on clear interstate. As we made it to Sandy Hook, we decided to have a little bit more of a formal lunch than a bologna sandwich.
And they send me it, like, which doesn't matter now because I don't have the store, but they'll send me money for that. I'm waiting for him to come around and then I'll get it.
After lunch, we continued our tour through Sandy Hook and then decided to make our way north to get away from more of the traffic. This detour north would not only get us away from the Boston traffic, it would also lend us some unexpected sights that we had no idea we were going to see. One of the cooler sights along this route was the West Cornwall Covered Bridge. While records indicate a bridge may have been in this location as early as 1762, it also indicates that this bridge was completed in 1864. As we continued to make our way through the beautiful towns and cities of Connecticut, the plan was to make it on into Vermont to the Green Mountains, to where we could set up camp. This trip would take a little bit longer than what we expected, so we ended up finding camp in the dark. The campsite that we found didn't have epic vistas or even a stream nearby, but it certainly worked for the night. We woke up the next morning and it was just about as dark when we woke up as it was when we went to bed. The plan was to make a long day and get all the way to Bar Harbor and Acadia. As eager as everybody was to get up and get moving, it still took us a little while to get some coffee in us and get charged up for the day's long journey. After getting enough coffee in us to get us jump started, it was time to get packed up and hit the road. Our first scenic stop of the day was the overlook at Hogback Mountain. After that beautiful view, it was time to make our way on east. Our next priority of the day was going to be find breakfast, and that we did. We always try to find these little hometown diners, and this one was perfect.
Even though we don't have all of our food yet.
There's two, right?
Yeah, you cut that in half.
Yeah, that's a full.
We can just push him out the back door.
I love it.
You gotta watch him, he bites.
After getting way overstuffed with incredible food, we were on our way to find the blue waters of the New England coast.
I did, and it didn't charge any of it.
Oh, I see.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto West.
This is September. After a very scenic day of driving along the coast, we had finally made it to Bar Harbor in the Acadia National Park. We had made it there in just enough time to have a little bit of daylight left, but the other advantage to that was there wasn't a whole lot of people there. It felt like we had the whole park to ourselves. The only problem was we didn't have enough time to see everything that we wanted to see. One thing that was a little bit disappointing was the tide was not coming in, so Thunderhole was not active. It was still a spectacular view, and with the light the way it was simply amazing. This is what I always imagined the Maine coast looking like. One of the other cool sights was we actually had a seal that came to visit us.
There's a seal down there. There's a seal down there. Come here, Austin.
There's a seal out there.
After watching the sun go down in the park, it was time to make our way back through Bar Harbor and try to find camp.
I mean, what's the occasion?
I think it's just Saturday night in Bar Harbor. After making our way back off the coast a little ways, we started looking for a camp. I found this camp on iOverlander, but I tell you, I truly had no idea what we were going to be seeing in the next few minutes. The site has been appropriately named Rocktown on iOverlander. It's a series of stacked rocks in different formations, nothing like any of us had ever seen. We decided to move back down the trails just a little ways to a nice level open spot. The next morning was a little bit overcast, but we couldn't wait to get the drone up to see what mysteries lie around us. After checking our surroundings and making sure that everybody was at ease of our surroundings, we sat around and had a delicious breakfast before we got the day started.
So what are we making at camp right now?
We are making a white hot chocolate.
Here's your pup cup. of this breakfast. Oh, that's fun, isn't it?
After breakfast and packing up camp, we headed back towards Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park. There were many things there that we wanted to see that we just didn't have the daylight to check out yesterday. Bar Harbor was not as busy today as it was the night before. That only meant one thing. That meant all of those people that was in Bar Harbor is now in the Acadia National Park. We typically don't do things with a lot of crowds, but having the opportunity to be on the Maine coast at Acadia National Park is one of those things that you just kind of got to do when it's up here, and it's absolutely worth it. After leaving the beach, we continued to drive slowly along the coast road. This was a beautiful drive and there was a whole lot of people, so we didn't stop very many places. We just took our time and drove and took in the scene.
Yep. I'll run over.
By now, it was getting to be near lunchtime, and it was time to find another small cafe type local establishment. That's when we found Charlotte's legendary Lobster Pound.
Because I just want to.
And a piece of this blueberry pie.
Yeah, because somebody got the last piece of pie. We brought extra forks.
The only thing I love more than you is Sadie. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
I think all of us tried something a little bit different, but it was all delicious. If you're ever in this area, this is a place you've got to stop.
See, I couldn't put the lid on it.
After lunch, we continued making our way around the coast of the Acadia National Park.
That's fine.
There are lighthouses dotted all along the coast of Maine. The one that we decided to stop at was the Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse. It has been lighting the way for mariners in this area since 1858. After taking the tour around the island, it was time to head north. The plan was to get away and get to a little less populated area. Our travels now would take us towards the North Maine woods. And just like previous days, we were trying to pack so much into the day that we found ourselves driving into near night to find camp. We found a beautiful place to camp near a lake about halfway between Bar Harbor and the North Maine woods.
No, I didn't know if you knew I had put that on there so you could.
For dinner tonight, Deb thawed and reheated some homemade chili that she had made before the trip. By this time, everything was about to run out of juice, including the Blue Eddy. It was time to lay down and get ready for the next day. The next morning, we woke up to a beautiful sunrise. Today would be the day that we would make our way on into the North Maine woods, but you'll have to wait till next episode to ride on that adventure with us. We hope you've enjoyed our trip to Maine so far, but I can tell you the tires are going to get a lot more muddy on the next episode. I hope you'll stay with us. Let us know what you think so far in the comments below. And until next time, see ya.